Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call to order this public meeting of the Board of Johnson County Commissioners on this 13th day of September 2021 at 10 o'clock a.m. Please pray with us if you would care to, and then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you bow with me for a moment of prayer, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the grace you bestow upon us. And dear Lord, as we recognized over the weekend, the events 20 years ago on 9/11, I just want to take time again to thank the first responders. Now, sometimes we seem to take them for granted or just assume that they'd be there. Dear Lord, not only in the safety part of our society, but also in the medical for their service too during those times. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Vintage Fall Festival.
Hi, this is Jennifer with Vintage Whimsy, and I wanted to request that we'll actually have vendors in the parking lots across from my shop, the farmer's market lot and the county lot. And we were going to request to see if the county vehicles could be moved to the south end of those lots for Saturday, October 2nd.
We do have those vehicles are there at this point from the farmer's market, but I also want to make note that we in the city of Franklin's been told also that we're not going to continue moving vehicles continually for these things to go on once they get that parking lot open back up to the west there, because we have to move our vehicles all the time. So just kind of preparing for next year and next season to make sure that it's understood that we probably will not be moving vehicles around again. But for this year, I think they're still already in place on the south end anyway, just for the commissioner's information. So
usually handle most of this, Brian. Not a big deal to go ahead and move them for this event.
they're already moved for this
Okay.
event.
Okay.
They'll go back after this event. We were holding them until the end of the fall festival, but I knew this was coming up, so I just left them in place for now.
I'd move to approve that.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion?
Thank you. And we will plan to use the new parking areas once all that's open. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer.
Good morning, Michelle Ann Graves, Johnson County Treasurer. I'm here before you this morning to ask for approval of a contract agreement for new software for tax administration for the county.
It's pending legal review and appropriation by council,
Yes, sir.
of course.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Health contract with Corn Country for radio advertising pending legal.
Betsy Swearingen, Director, Johnson County Health Department.
It's good now?
They came in this morning. Yeah, so you can approve it all.
Okay, so we're not pending legal anymore. You sure that's the one? Because it's still showing pending legal on my notes.
You're right. I'm sorry. I confused that.
We're still pending legal.
Pending legal.
Yeah.
Just asking for permission to enter into a contract to advertise for our vaccine and testing sites.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Betsy.
Sheriff, approval of HomeWave LLC service agreement. And the number 2 has been stricken
That's correct.
from the agenda.
Wayne Burgess, Johnson County Sheriff, home wave agreement, legal has that. It's just them having an employee on site for our phone system, video system, just needing a small corner there in the building. Be very beneficial to us.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Adult probation, approval of affiliation agreement with Indiana University for internship program, and this one now is,
We're good on this.
we're good on this one, so it's not pending.
All right,
legal.
Angela Morris, Chief Probation Officer. Yeah, I have a current employee, Caitlin Wheat. She is getting her master's degree through Indiana University, and I sent the contract to Sheena for her to do that under our therapist.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Animal Control Ordinance 2021-0-13, establishing the Latour Memorial Fund.
Michael Dell, Director of Animal Control. I think legal has been handling most of the details. Thank you for all the hard work you've put into that.
This is just basically receiving money.
That's right. We're just creating the fund, so we have somewhere to put it.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Public Safety Communications. Approval of business travel for CAD Administrator. And I don't know if anybody's here for that. I think Keith is off, but I did look at the agenda on that and it looks like pretty good.
I mean, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. With just sending one person down there, does that put us in a position to be kind of held hostage by that person on training?
I can't answer that question, but I think we have other people trained. I think
Trained on,
this
this is just an update on, or somebody new being trained?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not held.
because we do have a training officer anyway out there. So
Okay.
I would assume it's just in addition to, sir.
I'd make a motion to approve them.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Highway. Several things.
So hopefully it goes smoothly.
Good morning, Luke Maston, Highway Director. First item on the agenda is our request for your approval and execution of the revised construction contract with Milestone Contractors for our 2021 asphalt conversion bid packages 1 and 2. This contract would combine both of those big bid packages into one contract.
I've been working on this. I'm gonna move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, sir.
This item is our request to cancel the current bid package 1 contract with Harding Group LLC. Now that work has been combined under the previous contract.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. 3,
Item 3 is a change order for our 2021 Countywide Road Repair Program contract. This change order adds 3 items to the contract, including the addition of paving a road that was not previously included.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, sir.
Last item is request for approval of the 2021 Fit at the Farm special event permit. This event was held last year. We're not aware of any issues that arose because of the temporary road closure on 250.
I don't remember this one, but I think it's all, I looked through all the paperwork. It looked like it's all good to go.
Everybody's
So
approved it and
Yes.
move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it. Planning and zoning approval of ordinance 2021-3-3-Z-3. Many areas of the zoning map of Johnson County and B1 neighborhood business to R1.
I know you've looked at this, Ron. You've dealt with this plan commission.
Yeah, well, this is kind of an anomaly in the county. It's really kind of a rule for sure, residential and not business, but it somewhere way in the past, like 40 years ago or 50, I don't know.
Zone business.
They thought maybe that area was going to develop commercially, so they zoned it B1. And that zoning is just not appropriate for this area. We did go ahead and approve this particular zoning variance that was before us, but I think that Michelle wants to look at taking that designation off out there altogether. But if you look at where it's at,
Yeah, I saw where it's at.
I don't think it's ever going to develop as a business. out
Maybe an
there.
agribusiness.
Yeah, it might be an agribusiness thing, yeah. So I would move to approve it.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry. You must be here for that.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I'm glad it went smooth. Board of Commissioners, Constitution Week Proclamation. Do we want to read this?
Short one today.
Trying to find it. I know it's here. I read it. Oh, you got it up already. But you want me to read this before we,
If you want.
You want me to do it?
go ahead.
All right. Proclamation 234th Anniversary of Constitution Week, September 17th through 23rd, 2021. Whereas it is the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 234th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, we, by virtue of the authority vested in us as Johnson County Commissioners in the state of Indiana, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of the state of Indiana, County of Johnson, to be affixed this 13th day of September of the year of our Lord, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. And under further discussion, I would like to mention that council person Griesemer brought this forward to
Right.
you, did she not?
Linda.
Melinda Griesemer, just for record. This was brought forward to us by her. Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of job descriptions for highway supervisor, highway engineer, and assistant highway supervisor.
Did you have a chance to look through that
I did,
reclassification?
I did.
I did. Under incumbent serves as supervisor, it goes on to say responsible for supervising and directing all operations engineering. And I thought we were going to designate separation there.
Yeah, we can delete engineering.
Yeah.
We can delete engineering.
Yeah, I just noticed that on their thing, based on what our thoughts were.
And they classify a department in there as an engineering department to do, they're not really engineers, but that's what they classify that department as. So I think that was probably some of the intention on that,
Yeah.
not the actual engineer himself.
Yeah.
But if you just strike that engineer from there, then confusion goes away and it goes into the normal department function at that time, correct?
That's fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd be good with that.
Other than that, yeah, pretty straightforward.
Do I have a motion?
To approve, sir.
I have a motion.
Oh, I did have one thought on the expected hours. I think that works out to 9.5 hours a day. So that's just I assume, and it's just a time frame in which you would get is 7.5, right?
We didn't change those, so that's
That
That's
was
just-
in there since.
That's
That's
what
always
they're,
been
that's
there.
what we've had in there. And those, of course, all three are exempt positions.
Do what?
All three of those are exempt positions.
Exempt, yeah.
Doesn't matter at that point. Second. A motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ratification of Monroe LLC change order number 4 for the Willow Lakes East drainage improvements.
I know you're trying to work on this, getting closure on this. I'm going to move to approve and hopefully this will give us closure.
It will.
Yeah. Second.
I have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ready grant discussion. Assume that would be you.
I'm going to, yeah, I've been working on this. I'm going to have Amanda and Susie Qualls. They're kind of on the executive board with this Ready Grant. And they're kind of in the weeds on this, so I'll let them explain to you. They'll do better than I will.
Weeds, that's a good word for this. So good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Revenue with Aspire Johnson County. Oh, do I need to turn that?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
A little short. So Ready is a new state regional program that could open up about $50 million worth, in funding with the goal of attracting population to the area. This program is a 4-to-1 match from both the public and private sectors. Well, initially, our region felt a little disjointed and just really didn't make a lot of sense. As the process has moved along, there have been a lot of common regional threads that have emerged. With the help of HWC, we'll be pitching the 180 Alliance, which is what we've decided to call this region, that includes Putnam County, Morgan, Montgomery County, Hendricks, and Boone counties. We'll be pitching the 180 Alliance to IEDC with several projects from each county and some regional initiatives with the goal of attracting population and to fill the jobs that we are so good at attracting. So Kevin's request includes the HWC contract and a contract with the marketing firm, Well Done Marketing, that will help us put together a presentation that will include video, branding, a website, which are items that have typically been part of a successful pitch as kind of the Regional Cities Initiative kind of laid out for us. And each of these expenses have been split equally among each of the counties. And so so if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
I would assume under this 180 Alliance that you mentioned that we would have a common project, or is that not the case? Is it all going to still be individual projects that each entity would bring
We
forward?
have tons of different projects in different categories, such as, let me see here. We've got tons of information here, such as population of quality of life, workforce attraction, different things like that. And so we do have projects that will be in Johnson County, but also some regional initiatives that can be recreated in each one of the areas. So there are specific projects that will land in each county and also regional initiatives that will go across the board.
So the grant application is going to be based on specific project.
Correct.
So we'll just come up with a cumulative number. And that's
Yes.
going to be what we're sending.
Well, we've through this process, we've identified what those projects are that we are submitting based on
So
the
we
amount
haven't-
of match that we can
haven't
get.
identified projects for Johnson County, have we?
Correct. Yeah, no, we have.
Yes, we have.
So how did you do that without any input?
We had quite a bit of input. We had a public meeting. We've had, Susie and I have been working with each one of the communities to better understand what they are looking for. And we've had regular contact with Kevin.
So what's our projects?
So the list is not finalized yet, but I can give you an idea of kind of some of the things that will be included. So we've got where's the one I have in front of me? The Eastern Johnson County drainage improvements are included as part of the regional plan.
Eastern, what was that?
East of 65, the drainage improvements.
Looking at a regional detention area over east of 65, okay, because you know the problems over there.
Yeah.
So that's one of the more long-term projects, but one that we're pulling numbers together is a White River Trail project that connects the county trails program or county trails plan in with the White River trailhead area there in Morgan County. So that's more of a regional project. So since it crosses counties. Franklin Sports Park, we're working with the city of Franklin and Franklin College. They have put together an athletic complex that may be part of this as well. Ivy Tech's their Flex Lab.
What?
The Ivy Tech's Flex Lab could be part of this. And again, this is not a finalized list, but these are the projects that we've identified that could be funded through this process. The sanitary sewer extension across 69 and 144.
What is sanitary sewer project for where?
69, 144. In the Bargersville area.
Bargersville,
Mhm.
that's their project.
Mhm.
Susie, that's your project?
Yep, White River Trail and Bridge. There's a housing project in Franklin that may be, they have some road work that would facilitate this housing project. And then we've got quite a few regional initiatives. So we've got 180 in color. This is a regional public art project. We've got 180 makeover, which is also a regional initiative, facade improvement grants, things like that for revitalizing downtowns, things like that. And then we also have the Employer Resource Network that you may be familiar with as the Johnson County Community Foundation rolled that out earlier this year. And that is a program where you have a person come into a business that helps employees with challenges that they may be having, whether it's daycare, transportation, even leadership training, things like that. So I call it EAP on steroids, if you're familiar with the EAP program, but you actually have a human person that will help you walk through that process. So
And this is matching funds, right?
It is matched.
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a few administrative questions, if I may.
Might be too early in the process, but
Is
you can
it?
fire them off.
Okay, well, will the county be an actual pass-through agent? Or who will be administering this? Who will be receiving the funds, oversee the budget, do the reporting to the state, responsible for the audit and that type of stuff? Where will that be done?
That will probably, we don't know yet.
Okay,
Yep. First, we have to land the money.
yeah, oh, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the grant process, you have to assure them who's going to be doing
Yes.
that, so.
Yeah, we think we have established the entity that will be overseeing that, but I'm not 100% sure and wouldn't be comfortable saying right now.
Okay.
So, since that's not been officially decided.
Okay, well, I just, for your benefit of approval, wanted to.
This whole process from the very beginning, and Amanda and Susie, we sat through these meetings, was a little disjointed from IEDC coming out of the box. They've streamlined it a little bit, and you're going to see a lot of these projects that are future projects, but they have to be on applications at a certain time because some of them will be funded later by NDOT, but if they're not on a regional plan, then they get discarded, basically. So that's why you were going to see a lot of different type projects onto this program. Because I look, and I'm going to probably speak out of turn here, this is probably one of many the IEDC is going to do, and they're trying to force regions together. And that's how we got into this 6-county region, because we were going it alone with Morgan County and it didn't fly. So they're putting a lot of money on the street. I think total throughout the state, they're putting $500 million on the street, and they're trying to break it into 10 regions, and $50 million a region is what they're wanting to try to fund. So it's the first time out of the box for this. So there's going to be a little bit of hiccups on some of this stuff.
And all of these projects that you mentioned are specific to Johnson County, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
N-
each
not
of the other
necessarily.
counties are gonna have similar or comparable project consideration.
Yes.
So. Okay.
I guess, where does the funding come from to pay for all this organization?
You, me, and everybody else sitting in this room
So it's
comes from
taxpayer.
taxpayer money. The state has found $500 million.
Yeah, but the
Oh,
matching
imagine
grant
that.
funds could come.
Can
from
be
the
ready,
private sector.
shovel-ready projects, can be any development projects, sewer projects, park projects.
No, I was under the impression that private funding could, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
You-
got a particular development that's about to occur, like a
Yes.
commercial development, those funds can be considered in the matching.
Correct. So the reason that the projects that I just mentioned are on the list is that they have the potential to receive that private match. So if it's just solely a public initiative, it would be a challenge to get the type of private match you would need. So as an example, with the Franklin project, they need some road funding to be able to open up this area for private development. That private development goes into the private match. So that's why that's why the particular
Yeah.
projects have landed on the list.
Because we had a particular project, I'm not at liberty to talk about the project itself, but maybe $100 million project. It's not on this list. So can this list be amended as we go forward, or is it already set?
I would need numbers really fast. I would need numbers really quickly. We're finalizing the project list by the end of this week.
It's coming up here pretty quick. By the
And
end of the
so
week.
it's
If you can
also-
provide numbers. Project specifics.
Well, you've seen the presentation. I'll refresh your memory after the meeting.
Okay. Maybe I'm not following the right one.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda.
Well,
Uh,
and sorry, for today, I think what we need to do is get some
We have to have some funding
money.
available for HWC's partial their contract in this marketing campaign.
And how much is it?
I'm gonna ask for $15,000, not to exceed. Some of it's gonna go to HWC and some of it's for a marketing firm.
And is HWC and the marketing firm representing all of these counties or just us?
All. This is a split cost between all 6 counties.
Well, 90,000.
The state is gonna refund
$50,000.
$50,000 of this.
That helps.
They give initiatives to $50,000, but then if you are selected for the contract, then it goes on further than that. It gets more in depth. Because these are just, as you can imagine, these are just projects identified and put out there right now. Like I said, it's been a work in progress.
And as fast as this gone, they still gave us a 30-day extension, and it still feels like we've been running like crazy to be able to get to this deadline. So
So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's uncharted territory. We've never been in this before. We've never seen anything like this before. And it's totally new to everybody. Kind of foreign right now, but the waters are starting to clear a little bit.
Yeah, there's just a lot of questions, I guess.
And there'll continue to be a lot of questions. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not gonna
Oh, I
try
know.
not to pull wool over
You bet.
anybody's eyes. It's, I mean, I don't know how many hours in the last month, I would say really a month that we've worked on it hard. I mean, they've had 2 4-hour work sessions. And plus,
been every Friday for
and every Friday they've been in
For about a
meetings
month
for
and a
at
half,
least 2
so.
to 3 hours every Friday
Yeah.
on this. Sheena sat through one of them with us, just trying to hold on
Get a
to
hold
this.
of it.
Yeah, there's been a lot
Yeah.
of time invested in this in a short period of time. So. I'm sure you got questions. Brian's over here thinking he's wheeling over here.
Sounds like Access Johnson County to me. Sorry. Sounds like Indigo all over again. Shoving stuff down their throats.
Well,
But on this, there is a reward at the end of the,
potential.
and you know how this game works. They're just, they're throwing money out there on the
Yeah.
street. So, and with this merger with the 6th county, like I told you, we went headlong into working with Morgan County only, and we got forced to play with the other 4. They weren't happy to receive us and we weren't happy to be in, but we've worked through it. These ladies have done a fine job working through that. And, with all the other counties, because there's a lot of people involved in this.
Oh, I know. The only hesitation I have, of course, is my experience for the last 50 years has been that certain counties tend to dominate when it comes to these kind of grants or whatever. I don't know how hopeful we could be, but I'd be willing to put 15,000, I guess, towards trying to get it.
Well, I'll give you my personal views on this. They got $500 million. They put it on the street and just give every county an initiative of $5 million is what it rolls out to be. That would be life altering for some of these small counties.
Yeah.
And, there's 2 or 3 small counties in this region, and they're going to have stuff in it. But as you see this region put together, it's going to be Boone, Hendricks, and Johnson County are the 3 of the 6. I'm just being honest because it's out there. Are going to be the 3 biggest, and we've got some major development coming to Johnson County, as i.e. 69. We've got 65. We're looking at some stuff over there. It's just an initiative to put us in a good position, maybe to get some funding for some of these programs that we don't have to go out and find it ourselves in. So that's the reason I'm pursuing it.
Just for the record, we have Boone, Hendricks, Johnson, Morgan, and who?
Montgomery,
Montgomery.
Putnam.
Yeah, Jonathan,
And
that's
Putnam. Montgomery and Putnam.
Putnam, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the 6 counties. So what we're doing is looking for $15,000 to keep this thing rolling. We'll write up. The contract will be through the EDs in the county. So we've got a marketing firm already on board to work. Everybody else is at the table. We're the last ones to come to the table. And I think it's timing with meetings and everything else. So
yeah,
that's where we're at. So I guess I would ask for a motion. That's Brian's job, but
You've
just
been handling it.
$15,000 for professional services, which we have in there. So
Not to exceed.
that's your motion.
that would be that's a long motion, but yeah,
Not to exceed
not to
15,000.
exceed 15.
A second.
Have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, Amanda.
Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
gentlemen.
Thanks, Susie.
I do have to say, I have real reservations about this, like I do in
So
the Indigo.
you can ask
thing,
these 2
just,
ladies
you
after
know.
the first meeting. I was on the horn with Morgan County and was ready to pull the plug,
Yeah.
but it has
And-
smoothed out a little bit. And
and-
they've done a great job of doing that.
And I understand, and I know you've been handling it, sir, and I know it's probably been burdensome.
Unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of this trend as we've already started to see it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Understood. Appointment of Plan Commissioner member. Plan Commission member. We don't need another commissioner. We have plenty.
I don't know if anybody else did, but I've reached out to each of these individuals to see if they were still interested. Mr. Boyle was the first one. His phone number wasn't valid anymore, so I wasn't able to contact him, but I did talk to the other 3, and they did express an interest in seeking that position.
I'm just assuming since you sit on that board, you have a recommendation.
That's kind of what I was going to look at, since you have to work with these people.
And if you don't have one, we can open it back up if we need to. Sir, you're
Uh,
not satisfied?
I don't have a particular recommendation. Mike Morgan is involved in real estate, but I was kind of going through his experience level there. And
Pretty green, isn't it?
yeah. Stoney, of course, we know from his past political aspirations. But I do know that he was involved with the Plan Commission extensively on a project that was going to go in or wanted to go in down there on west of 37 down by Olive Branch Road. The other gentleman, Michael Patton, is self-employed. Stoney, of course, is retired. So that's kind of what I look at. And some of these plan commissions where we really don't have a clear choice. If somebody is able to spend some time doing the research on it, I wouldn't have a problem with Mr. Van or Mr. Morgan, either one.
Or do you want to open it back up for more applications? I mean, that would be your choice. I mean, I would kind of lean on you because it's your area.
Yeah. I would go with Mr. Van, I think, on this one, unless somebody else has got another recommendation.
No.
He's retired, as you know, retired state police officer, 30-some years on the force there.
Then I would second the motion for Mr. Van to be on the Plan Commission.
I have a motion and second for Mr. Van. Any further discussion?
Just for the record, that term ends on the 31st of December, 2024.
So we'll be back here.
No, 2024.
Okay,
2024.
that's good. I was just
Got
gonna
time.
say 21.
I just said it funny.
Who stepped off? Just curious.
Mr. Schilling.
John Schilling.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate to see John go. He was really a good member of the Plan Commission.
I have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I assume Annette or someone will make contact.
Yep.
Thank you, ma'am. Approval of the 2022 holiday schedule.
I was just going to point out in the notes there, she says New Year's Day 2022 actually falls on Saturday and New Year's Eve 2022 falls on Saturday. So they can't both fall on Saturday.
New Year's Eve is Friday this year. Oh, for next year, though.
Next
Shoot.
year, yeah.
So this is why it's confusing. So for 2022, New Year's Eve's on a Saturday and New Year's Day is on a Sunday.
Yeah. New Year's Day falls on Sunday in 2022.
Well, 23 technically.
It's 20.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Roll.
So what she's saying here is that typically we give New Year's Eve off and then because it's on a Saturday in 2022, we're recommending the Friday, which would be the 30th. She's got it right on her outline there. I don't know how important it is to wait for the state to release theirs.
I didn't see the importance of that.
I didn't either. So-
I'll reiterate what I said last year. I'd like to see that New Year's Eve day that we give off better utilized for a floating holiday for the employees. I mean, I don't see the need to be off on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, yes. New Year's Eve, not so much. And I'll just reiterate it again. So, I mean, I would still give it to them, but I would give it to them in a floating holiday sense. So.
Well, do we have to approve this today?
You don't, and
Maybe
actually,
in regard to that suggestion, we'd hold this off for a couple of weeks to give some of the department heads and elected officials to.
I'd like to hear
respond
from
it,
some department
Yeah.
heads and elected
To see
officials
if
on
they've got
this.
any concerns on that.
that's fine. We were just noting over here that New Year's Day 2022 is on a Saturday. So that's this, usually your first
Friday,
holiday of the year's New Year's Day, and it's not on here because it falls on a Saturday. Just a note.
Budget, New Year's Day.
New Year's Day 2022 is not on the list. It falls on a Saturday. Makes sense.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think that might be what her note meant.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
that makes sense. Yeah, let's
You want to
give the
table that?
department heads and elected officials. But the thing with, if you close all the offices on one day, then all of them are closed, where if you do it otherwise, then it might create overtime or whatever situation, but I don't have a choice either way. It doesn't make any difference to me.
So do we need a motion or a vote to move
Yeah,
it or
yeah,
just strike it?
just table it to the next meeting, if that's what your wishes are.
Table it.
I moved the table until our next
Second.
meeting.
Second.
Have a motion second to table. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2022 Commissioners Meeting Schedule. And we can, once this is approved, we can amend and move as things come up. So we know that this isn't concrete, but I don't see any conflicts as far as so
No.
far.
Since I guess everybody's getting used to the 10 a.m. All the meetings are at 10 a.m. I guess getting used to it.
Kind of like it.
It is a little bit better.
Kind of nice.
I'd move to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2022 Commissioners Meeting Schedule. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New and old business claims.
I always like to find something for the sheriff, but I couldn't.
He's doing
He's
such
really
a
done
good job.
He's done a great job after. I gotta commend him. And I'm not gonna bring up the several invoices for T-Shirt Express because that doesn't tend to carry any weight anymore. So I move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing
Wow.
none.
Can I just say, wow?
Hearing that one, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
This one's always easier because we don't have the credit cards
Yeah.
for approval yet. That's the one where I get in the weeds pretty heavy.
And I understand that. Public comment.
One thing before we get there, do we have to review any of the minutes from last meeting?
Not ready yet.
They're not.
Okay,
ready.
well then that's why they're not on.
Nets. I think Net's been off. Right?
Oh, she was off for, okay, never mind, sorry. I just, it kind of was missing in sequential order. I missed them. I missed them.
You get 3 sets the next time.
There you go.
Oh, boy. Any public comment? All hearts and minds free and clear.
Move to adjourn, sir.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We're adjourned. Thank you.